Hello and welcome to this place on the internet where I talk about all the things I make, mostly knitting. My name is Irma. You can find me on YouTube, Ravelry, Instagram as Wolwerkjes. Welcome, let's get started with all the things I want to show today. I'm not wearing any knitwear, so that part we can skip for today. I do have a finished object to show, and this is also my very ever first design I released myself. So I'm very proud of it, and it is a hat. I showed it last time, but I was still working on it. It's finished, the pattern is published, and yeah, I'm very happy with it, and I wanted to show the finished object. I put a pom-pom on it. That's your own choice if you want to do that or not, but yeah, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I will put it on for you. Messing up my hair, but that's okay. I like my hats big and slouchy, so that's what I went for. When I have my hair tied in a bun, I like my hats to just fit over it, so I don't have to think about that. So yeah, that's the hat. It has a 1x1 ribbing brim, and then it goes to the color work. For this version I put a mohair strand with the accent colors, and I don't know if you can see, but that makes it that's nice when the sun is out. Then you can see the halo of the mohair. It was a white mohair, but because the pink is so extremely light, it matched with that as well. So you can choose either two different mohairs, or just put the mohair with one color, or just leave the mohair out. That's just up to you. But I like, not only for the halo it gives on the outside, but it makes the inside feel so soft that it's just amazing to wear. What you see over here is the way I attach pom-poms is through a button, and then I tie it with just how you would do the laces in your shoes, like just tie them off. And yeah, that makes you can pull quite hard without damaging your fabric, and it makes the pom-pom stand up a little bit more firm, if you want to say it like that, but it's still possible to take it off very easily. I made this pom-pom out of the white yarn I used in the hat, and I have made pom-poms before, and the trick, because I'm getting better, I'm not perfect yet, but I'm getting better at it every time. The trick is brush them out. So you make your pom-pom with a pom-pom maker, or just with cardboard, just however you want to do it, and then you brush it out with a comb, and then you cut it to shape, and it gives you less of the it makes these strands of yarn less noticeable, and it makes it way more fluffy. And not only comb the outside, but also try to get in there a little bit, and yeah, you get a very fluffy pom-pom that way. I love it. I'm not sure if I will wear it with pom-pom always, but I was in the mood for a pom-pom, so I put a pom-pom on it. You can find it on Ravelry. It's called I Love Me, and it's a way of telling everybody to love themselves, so that everybody that's wearing the hat can say I love myself, like that. And of course hearts are just cute to knit, and of course you can give it to someone who you love dearly, but only if they really appreciate the knitting you put in. Okay, so the card for my camera was full again. I erased a lot now, so it will stay recording now if I keep within half an hour. I was talking about the head, so the pattern is calling everybody to love themselves, and yeah, I just hope everybody that likes color work, heads and hearts will enjoy making this for themselves, or somebody else. Yeah, so I started another one because I like to inspire with different colors and stuff like that, and this is my main color. It's a yarn from, it's the supersoft from holsgarn. It's a Danish brand. It's 100% wool, and the color I'm using is called ink. And I know it looks like a dark deep black. It is black, it is dark, it is a lovely color. It has a little bit of a cool tone to it, like when you have really dark black ink, it can have that bluish halo kind of feeling, that there is more to it than just black. That's what this color has, and I think it's perfect. It's great to work with. So when you put it next to another black, yeah, my shirt is a little bit faded, so that doesn't count. But yeah, it's black to the eye, but once you start looking to it very good, it has like a bluish, coolish. I think it's a cool black. I think that's the way to describe it. It's lovely. They also do have a true black, and they have so many colors. So if you don't like this kind of thing, that it's a little bit different, then they have lots of other colors as well. But I love this. This is my main color, and I'm going to use lots of colors in this version of this head, and I'm going for the rainbow. So those are all holsgarn supersoft yarns. I will read the colors for you. So the red is carmine, the orange is burnt orange, the yellow is old gold, the green is pea green, and the blue is sapphire, the purple is parma, and the pink one is peony. So a lovely rainbow. And I already started. I finished with the red color. I've already used it, and you see how much I have left of one skein. So this is perfect if you have leftovers, because one row I actually have a weighing device over here. Let's see if I can make it work. That's always a problem with those things. I just finished the color work with the first color, and I used less than 1 gram of this skein. So if you have little bits of leftovers, you can use it to make your own color palette for this head. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is the first row of hearts I made, and I'm not using the mohair at the moment, so you can see the difference with mohair or without mohair. The thing with Holst is that you with the supersoft they have is that there is a little bit of, you can even smell it, there's a little bit of spinning oil left in there. I don't find my hands to be greasy after knitting with it, but you do smell the oil a little bit on your hands. It's not like it's greasy, but it makes the yarn a little bit more stiff. It's very loosely plied, but it's still like crunchy. and it's keeping together very well. I have had no problems with splitting the yarns with my needles or something, but what it means is that this yarn will fluff up a lot when you actually wash it. So with normal knitting fibers you can get away with just steaming it or just give it a soak and lay it out, but with this yarn you want to take out those oils, so it's good to put a little bit of wool wash with it when you soak it and dry it. So that is what will make it fluff up a lot, and I don't know if you can see, but like the you can see through the ribbing now, which will disappear after washing. I don't have the problem with the color work. That's quite neat. I think it will be even neater after washing. So the next color I'm going to use is the burnt orange, and I will just work my way up in the rainbow colors. So I think this will also be a very nice version of this hat. So that's something I am working on. I do have other design I'm working on. It's laying over there. I will just grab it in a minute. I will just first show you some other things. I ripped out the project. So I don't know if people remember this lovely yarn. I'm not gonna take out all the skeins, but I have a lot of small balls of yarn in this color now. I love this yarn. It's schaapjes. Is it schaapjes? Yes, schaapjeswool. It's made from Dutch sheep. It's a rustic wool. It's a woolly wool. It smells a little bit like sheep. It's lovely. I love those kinds of yarns. I was making the Mamalukkur. I don't know the designer by heart, but the little underpants basically. I was making that to wear under skirts and stuff like that. So what I did is, it comes in one size, at least the version I downloaded a long time ago. I was looking for the pattern last time to link it, but I couldn't find the English version anymore. So there's for sure a Norwegian or Swedish. I think it's a Swedish pattern originally, but I think there's also a Swedish and a Danish version and stuff like that, but I couldn't find the English version anymore. Anyway, it's written in one size, and the designer described her measurements and how many stitches she casted on and her gauge, so she's very open in all the information. And I made a calculation, how many stitches will I need for my sizes and stuff like that, and I started knitting. And after you do a long piece of ribbing, because it has to, so you can wear it in your waistline as well. So a lot of ribbing, and then you go to stockinette and you divide for the separate legs and stuff like that. And I was knitting past the ribbing and increasing to accommodate for my hip size, and it was just, I had so many stitches on the needle, and as it was growing I was like, it's enormous. It's like I can fit in here twice maybe. So yeah, it's hard to fit. It was on a small needle, on a small cabled needle, so it was also hard to try it on. So I kept on knitting, and at one point I did try it on, and I was like, well, I think it's way too big, but maybe the ribbing for the underside of the legs will make it smaller, and I kept on knitting and I finished one leg and I tried it on again and it was just a mess. It was so big, and first I was thinking, well, maybe I will just wear it inside and it's fine, but I was like, no, I wanted to be able to wear them under my skirts when it's cold outside. So and when it's way too big, it will show through your clothing and stuff like that. So that was not a good idea. So I ripped it all out. And I don't know, we're going near, it's still 1.5 months to spring, but I think the really cold days are over now. So I think this will go on hold. I don't know if I will use this yarn again for this project, or that I will use this lovely orange for something else, or in a combination with something else, because I have quite some yarns that are the same weight and also woolly wools. So maybe it will be part of a color work project or something like that. But for now this is over, and yeah, I ripped it all out and I will put this lovely yarn in my stash and we will see what comes out of it. But yeah, that was something. Let me see, I worked on something else, and that is this pattern. The Saltings sweater out of Pompom issue 31. I will put the designer's name in the description box below the video. And I finished one sleeve and I'm so in love with this pattern. At first I put this pattern on hold for a long time. I was looking for the right color and the right yarn, and it took me, I think this is it's 2019, and since I got this this pom-pom around the time it came out, so I think I had it in summer 2019, and from the moment I saw the sweater I was like, I want to knit that one. But it's cabled and it will take a long time. It's a small gauge, so we will see when it happens. And every time I was in a yarn shop or dyeing yarn, things like that, I was thinking, is this the right color for that sweater? So finally I had this color dyed up and I was like, that's my sweater color. And I found the mohair with it eventually at Stephen and Penelope, and I was like, this is the combination for my sweater. But I really wanted to enjoy the moment of casting on, so I finished some stuff and then I cast on. So it took me almost 4 years to finally start it. 3.5 years, I think. So that's quite a time, and you never know if you put a pattern, if you're thinking about a pattern for so long, you never know if it's gonna be what you want it to be. So in my head it was this huge cabled sweater, and I was like, well, and it will be a lot of work. Of course it is work. It's going slow because yeah, there are cables in here, but it's way easier than I thought it would be, because it's just a 4-row repeat with 2x2 cables. You twist them one way, you twist them the other way, but it's always in the same rhythm. So it's a really easy pattern to memorize. I can do this while watching TV. It's so nice, and it's knitted flat, as you can see. I'm not bothered with that. It's a lovely pattern. I already can feel that this will be a very nice structured sweater that can that keeps its shape very well. So that's always a win when you do knitting in pieces. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Now I'm going to knit another sleeve, and meanwhile I think I will block this, like steam blocking. I think that's my favorite way to block things, to see how much it grows, because at this moment I am spot on with the gauge, but the gauge is always measured after, most of the times it's measured after blocking. And I'm not gonna stretch this out or anything, I'm just gonna steam it and lay it out and leave it, and the yarn relaxes a bit, and then you can measure your true gauge. I think it will grow a bit. It's not superwash. It's mohair also keeps its shape quite well. This is a merino silk and ramie blend, so it's not superwash, so it won't grow a lot, but I think it will grow a bit just because the yarn will relax after blocking. So my gauge will be a little bit different. So I was in doubt about the size I wanted to knit, and I chose to knit the smaller of the two, which would be too tight in this gauge, but it will grow a bit, and I think it will be just nice after that. And I was afraid that if I went for the larger size, which would fit perfect when knitted to gauge, that it would be too big after blocking, after steaming it, after wearing it for a day essentially. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. And the reason I want to treat this now and not after knitting the entire sweater is that the sleeves will fit anyway. So worst case scenario, I will put the smaller sized sleeves to the bigger sized front and back panel. Worst case scenario, but I think that's not going to be the case, but we'll never know. So I will steam block this somewhere this week. I will measure my gauge again, and we will see. And I am going to start the second sleeve quite soon, because it's I finished the first sleeve quite fast, and now it's already laying around for I think more than a week, and I don't want to lose the mojo on this project, especially because I've been looking forward for it so long. I'm gonna cast on the second sleeve somewhere this week, and we'll enjoy knitting the rest of the sweater. Also the front and back are knit in pieces, and I'm gonna keep it that way, especially because I knit the sleeve that way, so the pattern is the same all over, and it's in my memory now, so I can just knit from memory, and that's a very relaxing thing to do. So yeah, I'm not gonna adjust it for knitting in the round, also because it gives the sweater a little bit more structure, and I think that will be very nice for this sweater. So that's another thing I have been working on. I am knitting on another design. Let me see. It's just laying over here. Oh, and another one. I have more projects on the needles than I thought I would, and there are still some that I don't show you because I haven't worked on it in ages. That's just how my knitting happens. I have a lot of projects, sometimes I have less, and when I have less I want to cast on more. So that's just how my brain works. I am working on a shawl design with hand spun and BC Garn Bio Shetland, which is also one of those woolly yarns with a lot of color variation in there, and yeah, woolly, I love it. And hand spun, it's spun from I think even different breeds. It's just I had boxes with all little yeah, like little pieces of fiber in all the colors that company had at that moment, and I just mixed some of them together to make this lovely yarn. It's growing quite a lot. This is my knitting for in the car and when I'm at the swimming pool waiting for my kids swimming lessons to be over and stuff like that. For now, because I know exactly what to do now. So yeah, it's perfect for that. I will have to pay a little bit more attention at some point because I'm gonna make something interesting happen hopefully at some point. So even though I already think this is gorgeous, but we will see if I will just continue like this or if there will happen something else. I love the color progression. As the stripes get wider, the colors change faster, but it's also depending on how I spun it, because it's not an exact thing when you're hand spinning. So sometimes the color takes a little bit more rows than the other, but I'm loving how this is working out. It's already quite a long piece. I am doing I-cord on these sides. I really like that. And yeah, it's just a big chevron and I'm in love, and can't wait to wear this, and I will write this down as a pattern as well. So as I said, I think there will be something happening somewhere in the pattern, but I'm not sure how it works out. That's when you're designing, you don't always know how it's gonna work out, so I'm not gonna tell you anything about it because maybe it will be different anyway. But yeah, that's something that's coming somewhere. It's a slower project. This one I really wanted to put out there and finish and be out of my head, and this one I'm still not sure how the end piece is going to look, so that's a project I'm taking a little bit slower. So I have two other projects to show you. I took one out of my stash, if you want to call it that way. I have some projects that I do not work on that much, and then one day I will take them out and I will knit more on them again. It's just sometimes that happens with a project that you're thinking like, well, I don't feel it at the moment, but I still love it, so I just put it away and it will come back into my life when I feel the need for it. So this is with these socks. I think it has to do with the weather as well. The sun is shining. I'm craving colors. So I already have a finished sock. And I'm working on the second one. I already casted this one on a long time ago, but I just started knitting on it again. It's knit out of my own hand-dyed yarn. I'm thinking about dyeing this color in the near future somewhere. It's a very fun color to dye. It has like a black stripe and then all kind of colors in the middle, and it's also like random, so I don't exactly know how it's gonna look. That's always with hand-dyed yarn. It's not yeah, there are no machines to dye the yarn. It's my hands that make it, and it will be different every time. I'm knitting on the leg. I think I need to knit 2 more stripes, and then I am onto the heel. And that's the thing with things you put away. I've been looking at this heel and I think I know what I did, but I'm not completely sure. Of course I see this is a slip stitched heel, and of course I see this is squared at the bottom. Is that the Dutch, do you call it the Dutch heel? I don't know the name of all those heels, but yeah, so I did a heel flap in slip stitches, and then I turned the heel in a straight line. That's the technique I know it is okay, but I can't remember how many stitches I did the heel flap over. Normally it's half, but I can kind of remember that I did something else. I'm not sure. I really have to figure that out again. But once I do, it's just decreasing for the foot and straight on knitting. So the interesting part of figuring out how I knitted this sock will happen in a few rounds and we will see if they will be the same or a little bit different. Those heels are in my shoes, so I shouldn't be worried about it. It's just my own mind that wants them exactly the same, but nobody will care. So we will see how close I will come to making them look the same. So that's something I've been working on, and I even got it on a new project. I know I shouldn't. I have a lot of knitting around me over here. I don't need another project, but I just couldn't resist. I found this bag somewhere, and in this bag was a lovely yarn. I had 2 skeins of this. It's naturally dyed. It's a Finnish yarn. I'm not gonna pronounce this. It's a Finnish word, and the Finnish language has a strange thing of putting, not strange, it's there, it's for them, it's normal, but they put a lot of things in one word, so you have really long words, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but it's a lace weight yarn. It's a lovely yarn. It's this color is called Selja, and yeah, it's naturally dyed, and I have 2 of the same color, and let me see if I have the ball band here. Yeah, so I have 2 of the same color, and I know when I bought this we were looking, are they the same? Yeah, they are the same, and I think they're even the same batch. So this all was from another project I ripped out. It wasn't working in this yarn, so that's why I have a little ball out of the first skein. But what's on the label is different. So this one says that it is colored with cochineal, and this one says it's dyed with lag dye. And I don't know my natural dyes that good that I can see which one it is. I only see that they are the same, so that one of the ball bands is not right. I don't know. But it is a lovely lace weight yarn to work with. It's a very thin lace weight yarn. I think there are 600 meters on this 50 grams ball, more than 600 meters. So yeah, those are a lot of meters. The thing I'm making is out of this lovely book, and every time I look through it I want to make other things and more things. I will fold it over just carefully because I am very I don't want to damage the book, but I also don't want to show you the pattern. That's not mine to share. I want to make this one. It's called Windy Fields. It's a lace structured, so I'm using lace weight yarn, that's the thickness of the thread, and this is a lace pattern. That means it's worked open, and I know a few people that made it. One of them is just another knitting nerd, which is Tessa. She made a very like a burnt orange reddish color. It's lovely. I haven't seen it in person, only on the pictures. I have seen a version of the shawl in person, and it looked amazing. I have it's amazing. I have not enough yarn for the complete pattern. So I'm just going to see how far I will get with one skein, and then I will estimate how many repeats I will do, because after the start it's just repeating the same the chart an X amount of times, and it's just all the same over and over again, and except for the end, for the finishing of the scarf shawl thing. So yeah, we will just see how long I can make it. It really needs like blocking and a background of some kind to see it. I can see it like with my eyes when I'm looking at it, but it's hard to show you without something behind it. I don't know if you can see, but it has those bubble kind of things there, and the eyelets that make like the grain. I don't know how you call those in English. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean when I say the grain thingies on top. It's lovely. I was warned that the stitch is not the easiest to knit. You make like a lot of stitches out of one stitch, and then you knit all those together to make those bubbles. There are a lot of ways to make bubbles, but that's the way they do it in this pattern, and it's quite hard to grab all those yarns, because I made a mistake over here, and I'm not gonna drop down, but I am gonna fix it. I think my camera is not focusing when I put things up close. I don't know why. We will see if it's working. Like here I missed the loop. Can you see? I missed the loop of yarn there. I will just put it in between and it will be fine. But that's the thing, that it's hard to see if you got every loop of yarn when you purl them together. I do find when I come into a rhythm that it gets easier. You really have to make the stitches very loose, and then it is easier to knit through them. But it's a rhythm you have to get into, and it's yeah, it's nice, and I like the effect. It's a little bit it's not random, but it's a little bit not like wobbly and flowy, and it's not always the patterns I go for, but I really like it in this way. So we will see how long this will take me. These are, let me see, more than 40 rows already. And I only have like this piece. It's rolling up, so it's a little bit bigger than it looks now, but it's still not a lot for 40 rows of knitting. But that's, you know, that when you start a pattern like this, that it's gonna take you a lot of time, and it's just one of those projects that just don't need to be finished. It can just go on, and we will see when it's finished. I don't have anything else to show you, and I see on my timestamp in my camera that I need to pick up my kids from school. So I will just say have a nice day, have a nice week, and I will see you within a few weeks again to show you the things I have been working on. Bye bye!